I'm going to do my best to kind of keep things real here for a second, because I know that's what everybody loves. You got to keep it real. But to be honest with you, I see a lot of this going on in social media right now when it comes to Xbox, right? And first of all, what this is not a negative Xbox video. I know people think that. I'm actually kind of coming at the negative side from a positive point of view. I think Xbox is 100% doing the right thing for them. I think it's unfortunate that Sony has kind of stood in their way for so long when it comes down to actually being able to be successful. Microsoft conceded the console war to Sony long ago. Like, that's something that is indisputable. They did. The minute Microsoft started putting all their stuff on PC at the same time, it basically confirmed that the console war is over, because Microsoft needed to pivot to something else. And I think that's all well and fine. Let's just be real here for a second. The PlayStation brand as a whole, worldwide, is never going to be beat. There's areas like in the US and Canada and, you know, the UK that could potentially put up a fight and could help Xbox sell a lot, but at the same time, these other places are probably never going to adapt or adopt a Xbox, which is unfortunate. But the interesting thing that I've noticed on social media, and it makes it almost freaking possible, mind you, to have a conversation with a PlayStation fan. Now, maybe there's some decent PlayStation fans out there. I'm sure there are, right? Maybe you're one listening right now and you're like, I kind of agree with what you're saying. How can you have a decent conversation, a back and forth with someone who is unwilling to admit fault at all? And I honestly feel sorry for people that can't admit fault at all. And what I mean by that is, there's this trend on social media where the PlayStation fanboys go, boy, that Xbox fan's keeping it real because he's saying that Xbox sucks, or that he's not happy with this, or he's not happy with that. Right? And then you ask them, you go, well, what are you unhappy with PlayStation? Nothing. They're the freaking bee's knees. They're the best thing going, right? This is the thing that you get. They won't admit anything. And I'm like, so you're perfectly content with them unloading a $550 console on you 2.5 years ago, and in 2 of those years, they haven't bothered so much as to give you any updates on games coming from their first party, right? So they sell you this thing, and 2 full years pass, they haven't given one iota about first party, nothing. They have nothing announced. And they admit in their fiscal year that from March 31st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024, which is a year away, that they only have one AAA first party title, that's Spider-Man 2. That's it, one first party title. Imagine Microsoft did that. The amount of hatred that there would be. Imagine if Microsoft raised the price of the Xbox in all these territories by $50. Imagine that Microsoft were the ones that raised the price of games from $60 to $70. I think we would all be singing a different tune. It just goes to show that it is inconsequential and obviously something that is impossible to do, which is argue with PlayStation fanboys, because a lot of them live in this little world that I like to call not reality. It's unreality, PlayStation reality. And it reminds me of those old PlayStation commercials. Live in your world, play in ours. But they forgot to live in the real world again. That's the problem. They honestly forgot where we're at. And that's really unfortunate. When it comes to what Microsoft is doing, right? Many years ago, and I was sort of against this. Like, I don't care about PC gaming at all. I'll never game on PC. It's not my thing. I understand what Microsoft's doing. If Microsoft wanted to sell a bunch of consoles, you know what they could do? Just make things exclusive to their platform. That's the honest truth, right? When the PS3 was getting its stool pushed in at 100 million PSI back in the day, what did they do? They came out with a bunch of exclusives that people wanted to buy, right? The one thing, like, there's so many different things. People are like, oh man, Xbox is so doomed. Listen, if Xbox starts cutting prices by $100, I would say that's a bad sign. They haven't cut prices at all. You might see like a sale for the Series S around the holidays. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an official full-on price cut. When you see that, maybe start to worry a little bit, right? Because it means things aren't going great. Outside of that, I don't see why anybody would worry about it, because the console is only one of the cogs in the machine. Microsoft is trying to get people to sign up for Game Pass, but they don't care if you're playing their games on a phone, a tablet, a TV, an Xbox, a PC. It honestly does not matter to them. Maybe you're playing an Xbox game, maybe you're playing Minecraft on a Switch or a PlayStation. That's still playing an Xbox game to them. It doesn't matter. They're going to keep all the avenues open, because when you keep all the avenues open, you allow for maximum profitability. And that's what they're going for. And you might go to me, whoa, isn't that basically a third party? No, because they realize the importance of console exclusives as well. So some stuff obviously is going to remain multi-platform where it makes sense. Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76. It makes sense to keep those games on everything, because you need that large world to kind of being there and to interact with each other. Other things, you don't need that, and they're going to be exclusive to Xbox. So yes, I admit it, Xbox will never outsell PlayStation in terms of worldwide. Like I said, also, there is probably a percentage chance that if they started, if these games start releasing, the Starfields, the Redfalls, the Fables, the Avowed, if these games start hitting and they're really good, yes, you could definitely see an influx of Xboxes sold, because console gamers want to play on console. Let's just be real. Console gamers want to play on console, and that's what basically it's all about. And there's a lot of people on PC that'll probably play the games. I think, for instance, like, people are underestimating what Starfield's going to do on PC, and specifically on Steam. Steam users do not care about Game Pass. They do not care about Windows Store. They want to play on Steam. Right? So they're going to buy it on Steam. I think that game's going to sell incredibly well there and do very well there. And I think also that it's going to do very well on Xbox. I think a lot of people are going to jump into it on the Windows Store. It's going to be a huge success. That could be the big thing that Microsoft's been needing all these years. Again, there's always going to be something that's going to be wrong, though. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be complaining. And, that's what, to be honest with you, you might notice, maybe you're new to my channel, but I feel reinvigorated by this whole idea of Xbox and PlayStation and Sony and Microsoft. I was kind of apathetic before. I'm not saying going through the motions, but, I'm I love Xbox. It's great. What they're doing here is great. That's cool. I want to do a video about it. But now it's I'm almost to that pissed off point again that I was back in 2013 when I kind of started this. And it's so frustrating when we see that Microsoft and Sony are kind of having this back and forth, and people just are they don't have that common sense in their head anymore. It's you say something, I bring up perfectly good valid points, and it's idiocracy in the courtroom again, right? Instead of addressing those points, they name call you, or they leave the conversation, and that is the complete wrong way to go about anything in life. And it's super unfortunate that happens. And to be honest with you, I feel bad for people that don't have the cognitive resources to combat that, and to actually go out there and say, okay, well, you know what, you're right about this, or I concede that point. If you can never concede a point, man, I feel bad for you. How are you going to stay married? How are you going to, honestly, how are you going to work for anybody? Because that's what life is all about, is compromise. And if you can't compromise, I don't know what to say to you. But honestly, Microsoft has pivoted away from a traditional console kind of idea for a long time. It doesn't mean they're going third party. It doesn't mean that they're leaving consoles behind. They've already confirmed they're working on the next console. The doom and gloom is unheralded, right? It's unbelievable how bad it is. I would say it's on par with 2013. You would think Microsoft announced DRM all over again on everything, and they really haven't announced anything like that. They're the most consumer friendly business out there in terms of video games, right? And I've covered this multiple times. Really quickly, all their first party stuff on Game Pass, day and date. Play anywhere. You buy something on Xbox, you get it on PC. Buy something on PC, get it on Xbox. There's no other company that's going to do that are going to do those things. None. No company is going to do those things. None. Sony would not do that in a million years. Nintendo would not do that in a million years. The people that would say otherwise are kidding themselves. If Microsoft had VR last generation and they had VR this generation, I can 100% guarantee it would be backwards compatible. Right? I am the person that Sony wanted to sell VR to, because I bought their first VR and owned 76 PSVR games. Right? I get it. There's a lot of other people out there, oh, got hyped up, maybe bought it, but they aren't buying the software. I buy software, right? Yes, I also use Game Pass, but I also buy a lot of software. And the fact of the matter is, having 76 games, I have a built-in library that I could experience and go back to or play some of the games that I haven't even had a chance to play yet. But guess what? Sony was like, hey, we're not even going to bother to update our own first-party games. Screw you. So yeah, that's the company that apparently nobody has a problem with. I don't know what to say, but drop a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up.